Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my stream. So, if you remember last time we were in Minecraft, I hadn't really finished everything. I was working on getting more concrete to finish putting a roof over my place, and I have actually. Oh, also, as you can tell, I have more netherite on, and I'm barefoot. Yeah. I was trading in the nether with some piglins. I managed to get me a soul speed 3. And I was going to put on my boots and I realized I need 25 levels. So, not quite enough levels just yet. But yeah, I have more netherite. I also have protection 4 on everything. So, yeah, your girl has been a busy little bee. Also, ta-da! There is now a roof. There's now a roof on here. There is a hole to go up here to the top of the roof. But the roof is complete. I have added more lighting so it's not as dark in here. I think it looks nice. I think it looks cozy. I don't know what you guys think, but I rather like that. I really like it. I just don't like this mess here. Because this mess, ugh. So today I am working on trying to remedy this and get me a little more room in here, I guess you could say. So one thing I realized very quickly about trading with piglins is that I need more space than what I have here because there's items that I forgot they give you that I need a place for. So before I build like a little trading hall or whatever for piglins, I'm going to need to add more storage for the items they give me. I think it's this one. Yeah. So some of the items they give me is they give me blackstone, which I think I already have up there, so I don't need to add that. But I had forgot that they give me crying obby, fire charge, and where is it? Oh, nether bricks. I forgot they gave me nether bricks as well. Iron nuggets are fine. Fire resistance is fine. Water bottles are fine. All this stuff is fine. I just need a place for the crying obby and the nether brick. Those are some of the things that I absolutely need to make a space for. And as you can see, everything is pretty much taken at the moment. So, yeah. So I'm probably going to end up in a couple of weeks putting more storage up here. Just adding to this, just like what's down there. And changing this so that it's one more story up. And I have some stuff draining. Oh, that shouldn't even be in there. I don't know why there's emeralds in there. It's a good thing I looked in there. Anyway. So in the meantime, what I was mentioning about a little more space, this corner right here, there was just nothing over here, and it was kind of bothering me that there was nothing here. And I am really big on creating spaces that are kind of hidden. So I haven't really put any type of hidden rooms or anything into this base, and it's kind of driving me crazy a little bit because that's pretty normal for me to add something hidden, like a hidden room, or maybe... What was that sound? That sounded like something else. Anyway, that was kind of weird. But anyway, so it's pretty normal for me to hide rooms, as I was saying. Anybody that played with me on 1.18, you probably realized that. You probably realized it. Because there was a oh, I guess it's kind of like a maze. Yeah, I think maze is the best way to describe it. there was a maze that I had made. It was a bunch of little tricky ways to get through it. I really learned a lot more about redstone than I thought I would ever need to know. But I did learn a lot. Like I said, I learned a lot about redstone. It was pretty interesting. I had to go look up a bunch of things, but I made a maze and it was all hidden rooms and it was a hidden entrance to it and everything like that. That's the type of thing that I enjoy doing. Also, in my personal base, I had several little hidden rooms, and those rooms had stuff in it. Like in these rooms, I'm actually going to add on to this. This is going to be my excess storage, like things that are like 16 items that I can't put in these, because these aren't made for the 16 items. Now I have accidentally put or had items that were only like 16 stacks, like chicken eggs. For some reason, chicken eggs work in this, or it did in 1.18 for some reason, and 17. I'm not entirely sure why, but they did. This is made just for items that have 64 stacks. But I mean, if it worked, it worked. But anyway, I only found that out by accident because I had a mob farm, and obviously, some mobs spawn riding chickens, and chickens drop eggs. So yeah, it constantly had eggs. So yeah, I ended up with 2 double chests of eggs, and I had no use for them. Anyway, so this is going to be like the overflow area right here. This is going to be my brewing room here. I'm just going to have like a wall of brewing items here. I'm going to have another wall of just barrels. That's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use barrels. I like the looks of that with all the brewing stuff. I'm just going to have like a wall of barrels here with brewing items. I'm going to have a wall of barrels here with the different pots. And I'm going to have just a line here of stands. And I was thinking of putting something redstone here, but I don't think I have enough room. Unless I did it all on this side. There's really nothing on the other side of this. As you can see, this actually goes a ways over. This right here is just the entrance. Well, not entrance, but right over here is where this is. So right above here is the killing area for my spawner. The spawner is just kind of below us a bit. Just a bit. Oh wait, no, it's not below us. It's on the other side of this, I think. I don't see how it could be on the other side of that, though. Hold on. Oh, wait, no. That's not that. That's actually this room. Because this doesn't go all the way down. Okay, so it's just the other side of this room here. So, I have a ways, or I could extend it a ways over. Like, I could extend... Oh, I could put... I guess some redstone over here because there's a little ways over before it gets to the outdoors part. And even outdoors, there's a long ways until it gets to the edge over there. So I guess I could put a bit of redstone over here to make a door. I don't think that I'm going to do that. If I do anything like that, I may wait for the bookshelves update, the 1.20 update. with the bookshelves and everything, because that would actually be really cool. Have like a little sitting area here. Then on the other side of the bookshelves, it's the brewing area. But over here in this area, I'm just going to have a hall that's kind of lined with armor stands. I wanted to do something with the armor that I have, and that's the best thing I could think of to do with it. I mean, I have 2 shulkers of armor. I could make like a little armor area right on the other side of here. I could do a little private door here, or right in this area, and on the other side of the private door is or hidden door rather. Other side of the hidden door is the area with all the armor stands. You know, like how Bruce Wayne has that little spot in the Bat Cave. Oops. Has a hidden entrance to the Bat Cave. That's what I meant to say. How Bruce Wayne has the hidden entrance to the Bat Cave. That would be cool. And right up my alley as well. So, I said that I was... So, in my stream... Hold on, I'm checking my stream. Sorry about that. I was trying to check my stream, so something didn't look right. Anyway, I know that I said I was going to be brewing, trading, and building. Only part of that is true, I think. I don't even be brewing much. But I am going to be working on this little room. There is one thing, though. I'm not sure what to put in the room. Like, I could get some terracotta. I could make, like, some black terracotta. Bake it. And make it the floor here. That would be kind of cool, especially for this area. Since this is a mushroom island, I don't have to worry too much about mob spawning. I'm really just more concerned about mushroom cows spawning. But I don't think any of them should spawn in here. But they're the only mobs I'm worried about. I'm kind of worried about them spawning back there where the redstone is, but I think they need more blocks. But the reason I'm worried about them spawning is because I did leave the mycelium in here as the floor. That's the only thing. See? Mycelium. That's the only thing. I don't think they should spawn back here, though. But it is a little concerning. I need to just carpet it or something. Make it non-spawnable. Just in case. Also, I know this looks a little off, but I went and checked, and that is exact middle. This bridge is exact middle. This right here is exact middle of this room. This block right here is exact middle. But these lights, they still look very off to me. Oh, wait, no, it's this block right here. This block is exact middle. But these lights still look off to me. I think it has to do with these mushrooms. I think it's because one is bigger and the other one's smaller that it's messing with my depth perception. My spatial reasoning. That's the only thing I can think of. Is that they're different heights. I do not know how to change that, by the way. I do not know how to get that one to grow bigger. Like this one. I used the same dirt block in the same spot twice. And both mushrooms are this exact size. So I think that block only grows mushrooms that tall. I don't know, but it was the exact same mushroom both times. So I'm just kind of assuming. But in any case, whatever color terracotta I use, which I really would like to use the black terracotta, and I might do some white concrete. Just because. I'm still going to need to go and mine some terracotta. So let's just get to it. I have to mine just terracotta. So that way I can dye it. Either that or I need to find... well, no, because black terracotta is not naturally spawning. So it would have to be dyed. I remember I lived... or my last... my last home that I made on the server before this reset, I made in a Badlands area. I actually mined down 2 terracotta mountains. I actually mined them all the way down to sea level. I mined them all the way down to sea level just so I can make my base larger. I had so much terracotta, it wasn't funny. I think it was like 5 double chests of dark brown, 6 or 7 double chests of plain terracotta, and then I had like 4 or 5 double chests of each of the other spawning colors. Each of the other colors that naturally spawn, like orange. I don't want orange, by the way. But I had so much terracotta, I had no idea what to do with it. It was more than I was ever going to use. We had shops at the time, so I did set up some shops selling it. I didn't sell a whole lot of it. Nobody really likes using terracotta until there's one person that just wants gobs of it. And usually that person's me, by the way. But there's really no use for terracotta until you find that one person that wants to build something with it. And those people are few and far between. Everybody else just thinks terracotta is this useless block. And it kind of is. There's really the only use for it is you can glaze it. You can use it because it's glazed. Slime doesn't stick to it. So you can use it for certain projects. You can also dye it magenta and then glaze it because then it has arrow patterns and you can tell which way the redstone's going. There are a lot of uses for it, but none that anybody really wants to get it just to buy it for. Like, no players really want to buy it, at least not in my experience. But then you just have people like me that come along that just think terracotta is the bee's knees, as my friend would like to say. And before you ask, no, my friend is not 50. She is actually younger than me. And I am most definitely not 50. But yeah, I mean, then you just have people like me that comes along, and I will literally buy out the server. Like, if I manage to get the money for it, whatever currency that server is using, if I can manage to get enough, I will probably buy out all of your terracotta until I can find a Badlands. Or if I can't find a Badlands for some reason. Which they seem to find me, honestly. I cannot escape Badlands for some reason. Every time... Now, this isn't so much other servers like when I played on Capecraft, or a couple of other servers that I tried joining before, when I was kind of in between servers. When Capecraft shut down and before Exile really opened fully. There's a little bit of an in-between time there that I didn't, or that I tried other servers. And this didn't really happen on them. But Exile Crafters, I cannot escape Badlands. I cannot escape it. Whenever I first joined, after a reset or something like that, whenever I first joined, I do wild, just to try to find a place, the first place it wants to teleport me is a desert or a Badlands. Or a desert, and when I say desert, I mean like a desert right next to the Badlands. Like, I can see it. And if it's not one of those two places, it's the middle of the ocean, by the way. Like, the very first wild that I did, I actually got, I think it was this Badlands area here. This was the first wild that I did. And I'm like, I don't want a Badlands. Like, it's a very useful biome, because there's a lot of things in it that's very useful early in the early game. But I don't want a Badlands, because I build in a Badlands basically every single time. Like, either a Badlands or a desert, and I'm kind of tired of building in those places. Because in a desert, while it is somewhat useful, because I have so much sand that I can bake and turn into glass, it's just annoying as well, because then you have husks that spawn at night, and those are just horrible. They're one of the most mildly horrifying mobs in the game. So I am not at all crazy about husks. I am not crazy about the desert. I am not crazy about the savannah. That's another biome. I cannot escape the savannah. The savannah, right now, if I were to do wild, I'm probably going to end up right next to a savannah. Or in a savannah. Or in a biome that connects to a savannah. I cannot escape it. But then once I express, like, if I express that I want to find a certain biome, let's just say I want to find a biome, I want to find a swamp. Let's just say I want to find a swamp, okay? If I don't say that I want to find a swamp, I will find them every single time. Usually connected to a savannah, or connected to a Badlands biome, or connected to a desert. But then as soon as I want to find a swamp biome, as soon as I say that I want to find a swamp, I end up in all the snowy biomes. I end up in every single one of the snow biomes. Or I end up on a mountaintop. Or I end up in a jungle. Which, there's not a whole lot in a jungle that you can't find in a swamp, but I digress. The main reason I want to find a swamp usually is to find slime. I finally found a swamp that's actually pretty big. I found a spot where there's a lot of slimes that spawn. I suspect it may be a slime chunk, but I'm not sure. I'm going to find that out, I'd actually have to dig down pretty deep and then just mine out a large area. And that's not something I really want to do unless I have a beacon, which I don't have a beacon, obviously. So that's not a viable option for me right now. This just takes too much effort for not enough output. Because if I clear 4 chunks and I don't find a slime chunk in any of them, well, I just wasted 2 hours. I'm not going to do that. I'd rather have a beacon, cut my time down to an hour, and clear out a large area in 8 chunks. Or clear out 8 chunks to see what spawns. I'd rather do that. Kind of divide my time between them. Now, fortunately, I have a lot of black dye. That's one of the upsides. Also, I'm fixing to use some sea lanterns. So those are fixing to find a home and a use. I'm thinking that I'm going to do sea lanterns in the ceiling. Kind of makes sense. I mean, there's not a whole lot you can put in the floor that looks okay, especially with the glazed terracotta. Because glazed terracotta has a pattern to it. And if you mess up that pattern, Well, it doesn't look as good. I need to make more smelters. Because right now I have one at my home that's smelting glass, and then I have it, like, it's emptied out half the sand, or it's smelted half the sand that I put in. So I filled it the rest of the way. So I topped it up with light gray terracotta, but that's not going to drain in and start cooking until it's done with the glass. I just need to break down and make another smelter. That's what this comes down to. Need to just break down and get another smelter. I keep forgetting there's cats and they jump scare me every time. Also, I've been over here for a little while earlier. Or I was over here for a little while earlier. So, oh, I do not want to do that. Sheesh. Let's just put that in there for now. Let's put you in here, actually. I need to dye it, so let's go get some dye. Excuse me, I don't think a creeper did this. Kinda figured. I hate doing this, but let's see, that was 8 days ago. So let's do 9 days. Radius. Should I already have the radius set, right? Yeah. There we go. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Uh, I'm terrified to ask what I just witnessed. Oh my gosh. Okay. Um, I don't, uh, well, hmm. I kind of thought when I was making this that making this was a bad idea. Because I had a feeling I was probably going to end up being overrun by ink sacs. And I think I pretty much called it. Well, let's go and do some trading, guys. I guess let's do the trading part of the title. Whew. Okay, but my goodness. I did not expect when I rolled back the area for that to happen. I did not expect that to happen. That was crazy. I still don't know what to think about that. Let's do some trading, guys. Let's do some trading. You trade. You don't trade. You trade. And you trade it. You don't trade it. You don't trade it. You don't trade it. You trade it. See, this is one mechanic that I really like. I'm just holding an ink sac. You trade it. And you trade it. And you trade it. You trade it. You trade it. Oops. You trade it. Okay, well that's almost all of the emeralds back that I spent buying protection for. It was 2 stacks of emeralds. I actually used 2 stacks of emeralds to buy it. To get protection for. I desperately need to make more librarians so I can get better deals on some things. And that's where I'm going to put it at. I kind of want to expand this out over here just a bit, so that way I have a place where I can put the underside of this part. I want to actually be able to put that down on something. Like all the way down on it. Like these. Which I am planning on actually building it over here. So I guess let me try that again. I am planning on taking the rail and putting it over here. Bringing it over here. And so that way it goes right here and it drops them off here, because they're having a really hard time pathfinding to those end ones right there. Like it took him a full Minecraft day and night to pathfind over there. Actually, it might have been 2 nights, because I think I put him there during the night and then slept, and then... No, it took him 2 Minecraft days. It took him 2 Minecraft days to get over there. I'm going to try sending one more villager over there. But that's going to be the last one. He's the last, that's the last one I have room for over there. So. But, I still need to finish making that. That's bothering me. I need to finish making that. Let me get rid of this, actually. That's really bothering me. I need to finish building that. But I need to finish building that, but well, actually now I have that piglin farm, so I have infinite gold. Or I have access to infinite gold. I can make as many powered rails as I want to. I could make the world out of powered rails. I could put a powered railway system, thousands of blocks, to whichever home I want to go to from here. If I found a swamp 1,000 blocks away, I could put in a powered rail system straight there. You know, after all of my ranting about how useless Minecraft chests, or chest carts, let me try this again. Minecart chests. Minecart chests. For as much ranting as I did about how useless they are, I was actually thinking about it. And I can see how they would be useful. Like, if you were trying to transport goods from one base to another, and you had several players that are working together. Sorry, I had to do it because I need the terracotta cookie. You were trying to transport goods from one long distance to another long distance, but you had enough powered rails that you could do it. That's actually a pretty efficient way of doing it, sending it to another player. Like if you have like a player village, and there's somebody at the other end that's going to be breaking the cart and the chest and getting the items. That's actually a pretty efficient way to do it, because then they could just send the chest back. Like, player 1 could fill the chest, send it to player 2. Player 2 empty the chest, send it back to player 1. That was actually a pretty efficient way of doing it. So, I mean, I don't take back any of the things that I said about how stupid they are, because it is kind of stupid how the chest and the cart don't come apart. I would rather have a bunch of empty mine carts and a bunch of chests than have a bunch of minecart chests that I personally have no use for. If I want to make minecart chests, I could just... It's very simple. You put a minecart in this square, you put a chest in this square. You click on this square, boom, you have your minecart chest. That's how simple that is. But if they don't come apart, I may not have... Let's just say I don't have an iron farm. I go into a mine shaft thinking that I'm going to come away with mine carts because I need to fill this up. I come away with mine cart chests. I can't put a villager in a mine cart chest. That doesn't work. So it's very inconvenient, especially for early gameplay, when you don't have access to a lot of things. But I mean, I also understand that it can make things very efficient, and I agree with that. I'm just saying it's just kind of dumb at the same time. I really need to either make an auto farm or make a villager farm for this. It's much more efficient. I think I might just put a chest over here for some seeds. just so that I can have some extras on hand, like an extra stack or two of seeds that I use, and then just take the excess and just put it in here. I have several stacks at my other base of beet seeds, so I'm fine with just composting everything. There we go. Finally got some more. Oh, I forgot. I was going to dye some of these black. That should be all I need for now. Actually, I shouldn't even need that many. I should just need like 4 stacks. That should take care of it. I really need to just break down and go excuse me. I really need to just break down and go try to build a flower farm for light blue flowers, the blue orchids in the swamp area. I keep trying to bribe the owner into making it for me, and he keeps refusing me. I mean, who would turn down a stack of diamonds and 2 stacks of TNT to make a flower farm? Who would turn that down? And yet he keeps turning me down. I started with a few diamonds, because it's what I had, and then I worked my way up until the last thing I offered was a stack of diamonds and a stack of TNT. I guess it's going to keep turning me down until I throw in an elytra and maybe some netherite. I think that's how much it's going to take to get him to actually build it. And honestly, I don't blame him because if I didn't have time to play, he probably couldn't get me to get on here and do anything for anything either. But I know that he does have time to play. That's the difference. But anyway, I mean, who am I to judge? He just may not like diamonds. He may not like TNT either. He may not even want an elytra. Or I may have given him one already. I don't think I did, though. No, I think if he got an elytra from somebody, it was some players that gave me an elytra. Okay, that kind of spooked me a little bit. I forgot that I was right under the villagers. I was trying to figure out who was walking right next to me. Okay. Anyway. Man, it's just not smelting very fast. But that's what I get for not having many hoppers all in one place together. I really need to finish that. Fix it. I mean, I really need to do that. I just haven't really had the patience to sit down and troubleshoot it. I think I know what's wrong with it. I think I know what I need to do. But it's just a matter of sitting down and actually doing it. I'm testing my theory, making sure I'm right. It's a little time consuming. Now, I would build a flower farm myself, except I don't know what happened to my, I don't know what happened to my, saved schematic for it. Because I don't remember. Yeah, I don't have it. I don't have the schematic for it. Otherwise, I would definitely make it myself. And it's not a flower farm that I've seen other people make. The flower farm that the owner makes is so I don't really want to say more simplistic because it's not quite the case, but it is easier to make. Which I know is a little weird, but it's easier to make. So we need to run faster on different surfaces. I feel like I don't run as fast on glass as I do on stone. It's probably just all in my head, though. Also, I didn't realize that I could use blaze rods as fuel, but they actually work pretty well. It was the first I'd noticed. I just stuck it in there thinking I was going to try it and just see, because I was kind of running low on the lava buckets. And sure enough, it works. I was surprised. But again, another prime example of I seem to land in the savannah, desert, and badlands every time I do the wild command on Exile Crafters when I first log in. Like when I first log into a fresh server, I always land in one of those three biomes. I remember when before we reset for 1.16, before we reset for that, no, wait, that was when I started playing, was 1.16. That seed, for some reason, had so many badlands on it. It had so many badlands, savannas, deserts. But on there as well, I mostly played by myself. There really wasn't a whole lot of people that played. Not even the owner played much at all. But on that server, I actually went and looted all of the or almost all of the desert temples. Is that what it is? Desert temples? I think so. I actually went and looted almost all of them. So I ended up with an excess amount of loot. I ended up with an excessive amount of loot from those. But again, nobody really played, so I more or less just stockpiled stuff. But I explored so much, and it's like every time I did wild, I had to actually go in search of any kind of wooded area that wasn't acacia trees. I had to really hunt for it. I eventually found it, found several of those biomes, but yeah. Then we reset for I believe it was 1.18. No, 1.17. That's when they added a whole bunch of stuff. We reset for that, which I was very much fine with. I was testing a lot of farms and stuff to see how hard they were to make. And I very quickly found that there were a lot of farms that worked for me. Like the breeder right there worked, this iron farm worked, the trading hall. And eventually I branched out to some other stuff. Yeah, see, I think I run faster on stone. And I don't know why. It's driving me a little crazy. Anyway, so we reset for 1.17, and when we reset for that, I was trying to find a nice place to put my base at, and it. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm hearing sounds, and I'm trying to figure out how to attribute it to things in the game. And that llama just scared me. Anyway, so when we reset for 1. What you call it? I just said it. 1.17. When we reset for that, I tried to find a good place for my base. I kept getting TP'd to deserts. Just deserts. Nothing but deserts. I tried so hard to find a place that wasn't a desert. But it just wasn't meant to be. I ended up making a base kind of situated between a desert and a badlands area. So it's like half in badlands, half in desert. And that was the that base. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That base I'm pretty sure was haunted. There was too much unexplained activity in and around that base. I know that a lot of Minecrafters want to attribute everything to Herobrine. I am not necessarily one of those people. For a while, I kind of attributed it to people were playing with me. And I still think that I was being toyed with by players that just never fessed up. I still do think that. Because there was just... I mean, it just comes to a point where it just has to be players, you know? It's just gotta be. Wait, no. I can't put all that in there. I mean, it's gotta be players, you know? So... But anyway, I was just nonstop finding deserts. I finally gave in. Built one in a desert bordering on badlands. And that was where I took down 2 terracotta mountains for my base. because I needed to expand it over to where I found a slime chunk. And the slime chunk happened to be right in the middle of a terracotta mountain. So I had to take down that one, and then right next to it there's another one, so I expanded that way as well. And I added in, or I had plans to make a larger cactus farm there. Like, my cactus farm was already like 3 tiers, and it made so much cacti that my system was literally being overrun by it. I eventually had to disconnect my bamboo farm because I was being overrun by bamboo. I had to disconnect that and reroute it down to my smelting system in the basement, down right next to the slime chunk that I found. And it was just a whole mess because I built farms too big for my storage system. And the storage system that I have now, that I just finished, it was the same size. I built farms that were too big for that storage system. And it's not even like big farms. Like, you see this farm here, this iron farm? Yeah, there's a way that you can actually add beds onto this. Like, you can add one right there, you can add one right there, and then you can make multiples of these. I didn't even have to do that. I spent, because this was at my main base, this was like my main base. Right now I have two. I have this one, and then I have my main one over on the Mushroom Island. But because I was with this all the time, it made so much, it backed up. My system was backed up. My whole base was backed up. I had so much stuff, it was over full. I was having to basically, okay, this is gonna sound weird. I was being forced to give items to other players, just give it away, because nobody, and I'm talking about make them take it. Because there's one point I had 6 double chests of arrows. Who is ever going to use 6 double chests of arrows? I was not disposing of anything. I wasn't throwing anything into lava. I wasn't, like, nothing. I wasn't getting rid of things. I realized eventually that I had to get rid of some things because it's just too much. But I was just giving away arrows. I was giving away other things like saddles, horse armor. I was giving away even more hard to get items like bones and bone meal, bone blocks, even kelp blocks. I was giving this stuff away because I had too much of it. I didn't originally have too many kelp blocks, but then somebody came behind me and just decided that they needed to smelt thousands of items, and they didn't want to use what I had for smelting. They wanted to use these kelp blocks, but I didn't use kelp blocks. I used something else that I had excess of. So I used that. So I was overrun with kelp blocks once they stopped playing. So yeah. So that, in a nutshell, is the reason why I don't base with people anymore. I'm kidding, okay? I'm kidding. But I did learn my lesson the hard way that I do need to dispose of items. But I also learned that there are just certain farms that you should not expand. Some of those farms actually can put out way more items than you will ever need in your entire course of playing Minecraft. Also, I'm sorry if you keep hearing my phone in the background. I forgot to turn my volume down on it. Oh, cool. Somebody's doing a subscriber countdown. He's got almost 800,000 subs. That's pretty cool. But in any case, I had mentioned it earlier that there was a lot of stuff that people normally blame things on Herobrine and what have you. Well, if you remember, somebody had mentioned before that I claimed that my base, or I've had issues before with weird things happening at my base. And there's a lot of things that I attribute to other players. Like, when I played on Cape Craft, there was one player, Mauve. She would actually play with players sometimes. Like, she would kind of lure them places and then trap them just for fun. Like, not in a way that they couldn't get out, but just to mess with them. She had fun doing that. I imagine if she's still playing on that server, she probably still does. But then there was one time this player, Mauve, she wasn't online. It was not a time that she was normally online. The only other player that was online that might have been trying to play a trick on me was Iominous. He's still a mod over on Cape Craft. And he still helps out the server from time to time if Matt needs it. Matt's the owner, by the way. But the thing was, he was AFK. Or no, he wasn't online. He wasn't online. Him nor Matt were online. So, anyway. Like, the only players that would have been trying to mess with me at that time, one was Iominous, or Omi as I call him. Omi, Matt, they're the only ones that would have been messing with me. So, but neither of them were online, so I know it wasn't either one of them. They weren't admin, they weren't mods, nothing. They were just regular players. They had no special roles on Cape Craft at the time. But I was mining. Now, the reason why I say Omi could have done this is because I'm pretty sure he had a home set near my base in the forest part, in a forest that I had near my house at the time. Because I had let him come and mine there a bit, like get trees and leaves and stuff. I had let him come there with somebody else. I forget their user. But I had let them come there and get stuff before. A few times. And I told them it was okay to set a home there. So I'm pretty sure they did. And because of that, that's why I'm pretty sure it could have just as easily been him if he was online. I don't think he was, though. I'm pretty sure he wasn't. Anyway, so I was in the forest. I was hearing footsteps behind me, but not like consistently. So I was hearing these footsteps behind me, going through the woods. It was nighttime. So it was dark, and I know that hostile mobs spawn in the dark, especially in forests. Or they tend to spawn more in certain forests. Well, this wasn't dark oak forest. This wasn't anything like that. This was just a regular forest with spruce trees. Not spruce trees. What are these? Birch and oak trees. Just normal forest. Well, in this forest, I was trying to get some wood. I'm pretty sure it was some oak trees or something. I was trying to get that and go back because I was needing to make a chest or whatever. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, mining, I'm hearing footsteps behind me, but not consistently. And I know that there are like sheep and cows and chickens in this forest with me, but none of them are anywhere near me. I hear none of their sounds. Like there's no cows mooing, there's no sheep baaing, there's no chickens clucking, no pigs snorting, nothing. And I can look around. I don't see anybody. I see nothing. Then, while I'm trying to find these trees, because most of the oak trees have been cleared out at this point from like I said before, I let some people come and get oak trees. So most of the trees are gone. I'm having to hunt for them, and I am gathering I'm gathering that wood. I'm gathering the saplings that they drop. I'm gathering sticks and apples, and I keep hearing off and on these footsteps, and it's just not adding up. Until finally, I'm in a clearing area, and I noticed that in a corner of the pond, there's an opening in the ground that I've never noticed before, that had never been there before. So I go over to this opening in the ground, and I go down, and there's a whole cave system that I'd never found before. And I'd been over in this area several times. So I stopped looking for trees and I started exploring this cave system. Who wouldn't at this point? The mysterious cave system opens with the ground. There's been footsteps. I've been hearing footsteps in this area, and I don't know where these footsteps are coming from. So I go down to the cave system. It's kind of odd. It's kind of skinny for a cave system, but it's a cave system. And while I'm down there looking around, I realize, oh, I'm out of torches. I need to go get more torches. So I go and get more torches. It's a quick trip from there to my base, because I am literally right on the other side of the wall that's around my base. I go over the wall, I get torches, I come back, it's gone. The whole opening in the ground is gone. I pull out my shovel, I start digging down, the entire cave system is gone. I want to let this sink in for a moment. The entire cave system that I had just found is gone. It's gone. This massive entrance is gone. This massive entrance that I knew hadn't been there this entire time. Otherwise, I would have seen it. I would have gone down and explored. It's not there. It's not there. The cave system it led to is not there. It's all gone. Like it was just like a fever dream. It's gone. Well, I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe I just imagined. Oh, maybe I have the wrong spot. Maybe I found another really random pond that looked identical to this in a different area that just happens to be identical to this, the exact same direction as this. And or maybe I'm just confused. Maybe it was a different direction that I came from. Maybe it was, instead of west, it was east that I came from. I don't know. So I let it go. I just let it go. And I go looking in the woods again. Night falls again. And this time, I'm hearing those footsteps following me around the forest again. And this time it's a little more unsettling because for some reason there is no animals anywhere near me. Like all the animals that I had seen or heard in the forest before, they're just gone. So I'm hearing footsteps. Like whenever I walk, I'm hearing two sets of footsteps. You know, like how you can hear yourself walking on the grass. Yeah, I heard somebody else walking on the grass. That every time I would stop or start, they would start right before me or stop right after me. And it was kind of like they were trying to trace my footsteps. I'm like, okay, well, that is really weird, even for somebody that's trying to prank me. And then I hear more, well, I say rustling, but it sounded like leaves being placed, if that makes sense. Because you know, like when you place a leaf block, it makes noise. Like I hear some of that behind me. I turn around and there's just a cobblestone wall behind me. I ran back to my base. I decided, you know what? I don't need trees that bad. I can just do wild because some trees I have a home set at my base. I'm just going to do wild from now on. So yeah, that was the woods right next to my house, to my base on Cape Craft in 1.15. 1.14, 1.15. Yeah. Then I come to Minecraft 1.17 Exile Crafters. Brand new server. Brand new seed. I started doing wild. I keep finding sand, deserts, terracotta, savannas. I keep finding this. I can't catch a break. So I finally decide, sure, why not? Why not? Let's just make a base here. I can use the terracotta. I like yellow terracotta anyway. I like some of the other colors. I like glazed terracotta. I need a lot of glass so I can make the floor spawn proof. Let's do it. So I make my base. I'm doing my base things. You know, just like exploring the lay of the land. That cat startled me. You know, just exploring the lay of the land, just kind of looking around, getting acquainted with everything, getting my sand, so getting my smelter together, which at the time was just a furnace with a just a single one of these. What I'm using right now, just a single one, and during this lay of the land finding that I'm doing, I start noticing that there's just some random holes in the ground. Every time I come across one, I go down. And I eventually remembered where all of the little holes were, where they led. And I knew what was down each cave system. I knew where I could go to find certain ores. I had all of that. I had all of it memorized. Everything. So, this one time, I'm running between my base and a spider farm that I had made for a cave spider spawner that I had found. I just needed some XP to repair my gear. I'm running back, and I see that this cave that I have never noticed, that's in the exact path of where I'm going back to my base, is suddenly open. What happened? Like, literally, what happened? I just ran across this area. This wasn't here. If this was here, I would have fallen in it. I can't find any reason why it's there. But I'm heading back to my base so I can go sleep. Because mobs are chasing me. I don't want to die. So I get back to my base. I sleep. I grab some extra torches. Just in case it's a big cave system. And I go back. But it's gone. This huge opening that I had found in the ground is gone. And when I say a huge opening, easily that big. like this whole area right here, this opening in the ground that led down to several cave systems, because I did go down a little bit into it, went down to several cave systems, gone. Gone. I go back, it's gone. I run the entire length from about right there where that sand is down to the second sand. There's a whole ledge right there. I run that entire length, and then I even go past there. I keep running until I can't even see my base anymore. I can't even see the Badlands anymore. I'm just running. I don't see the opening anymore. I don't see it. It's nowhere. I don't understand how these holes just randomly open up. I don't think it's anything to do with the coding in the game. I don't think it's the coding. I don't know what it is, though. It's unsettling is what it is. But it wasn't just the desert part there between my home and the Badlands where I had the spider spawner at XP farm. Spawner XP farm. XP farm. I'm sorry, guys. I can't even speak. I'm sorry. It wasn't just that, though. There was also the fact that there's also the fact that multiple times at my base, I saw players at my base. Players when I was the only person online. And when you're the only person online, you should not see other players at your base. That is not something that should happen. And yet, I saw them. I also saw when some other players were online, I saw a player that was not online suddenly pop up in my base and then disappear. That was very, very weird. But not just that, some things would go wrong with Redstone just randomly while I was there. And when I say wrong with Redstone, like, I know that the item sorter that I made, sometimes the Redstone can break at random for no reason. It doesn't happen very much, but it can happen. It's only ever happened to me a couple of times, but I do know a couple of players that it happens to regularly. But random things happen like that. And that's fine. That's cool and all. But I don't mean that. I mean pistons randomly firing that shouldn't be without their switch being hit. And that type of thing. But, I mean, it's just some other really random things that happen to me in Minecraft. It goes beyond just constantly finding certain biomes for some reason and hardly ever finding other biomes. It's not just that. Alright, guys, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to step away from my computer for just a minute. I'm just going to go grab a snack. Okay, guys, I'm back. So anyway, where was I? All right, weird things happening. But there was just so many things that were happening at that base. I know the other night that somebody commented on it. I forget who. But it was one of the people that was chatting while I was playing. Um, he made a comment about me having troubles at my base. I wouldn't exactly call it troubles, but definitely have weird stuff happening. So far, this time around, I haven't really had too much of anything. I mean, I have spotted players at my base a couple of times. And not even, like, players that were online, because I'd be on by myself like I usually am. And I would just see players running around my base on the Mushroom Island. But maybe it's just because the spores are getting to me. I mean, you never know. Yeah, I actually feel like I got some progress. I really, really need to get that dye farm going. Flower farm, I mean. But I really need the schematic. I really need him to get online and show me how to build it. So that way I can at least save the schematic. Because once I have the schematic, I can actually, once I have the schematic, I can actually build it again. As many times as I want to. And I do have some places I want to build one. I really would like to build one in a meadow, because it looks like in a meadow there's going to be more cornflowers. There's going to be more more cornflowers, especially for the blue dyes. But it looks like there's also going to be like some yellow flowers. Just like a nice little mix of stuff, you know? Let me look and see though. I really need to go in and look, because I would have sworn I had several schematics saved and not the ones that I have. You know, I don't want to be that person, but I noticed that most of my troubles with mysterious things happening or weird things happening at my bases and near and surrounding my bases were all in versions where Minecraft didn't say that Herobrine was removed. Just saying. A farm would be so much more efficient. It's so much more efficient than doing this 50,000 times. But, I mean, gotta do what you gotta do, man. And plus it just gives me more stuff to put in my compost. Huh. So, I actually did get around to watching everything except Idolish 7. I know it's my favorite anime, and I really did want to watch it. I just did not have the time today to watch it. And to be quite honest, I didn't have time to really think about it this morning or this afternoon or at any point. I did not have time to think about it at any point between 8 a.m. and like 2 o'clock. No, 4 o'clock today. I did not have the time to be able to think about it. So because of that, I completely forgot. But I did catch up on My Hero Academia, and I watched Spy Family. So, I am fully caught up on where the anime is for My Hero. Oh, it is so good. Oh my goodness, and it's about to get so much better. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I really need to finish catching up on the manga. Again, I haven't really had a whole lot of time. I am in the middle of reading Horimiya at the moment, though. I'm in the middle of reading Horimiya, Lovesick Ellie, and Imakoi. Now I'm in Love. Oh, hi. So I'm in the middle of all of these series. I'm buying all of these books. I actually have a subscription to Shonen Jump that I read My Hero, where I read My Hero at. I don't actually buy those books. I just have the subscription and I read them through the subscription. But it works for me. Yeah, that's right. Keep it moving, buddy. Sorry, keep it moving. Keep moving. Are you by yourself? Oh no, there you go. You have your buddies with you. Always travel in packs. Use the buddy system. Best way to go. So yeah, I saw on, I don't really want to spoil anything, so I'm going to try to keep this as vague as possible. But if you noticed in this last episode, Shigaraki is having more trouble, or is having trouble hearing All For One's voice in his head. It's not actually All For One. I'm just gonna say that real quick. It's not actually All For One. It's kind of like, you remember at the end of season 5 with Deku seeing the vestiges? It's kind of like that, just so you know. It's not, he's not actually hearing the other guy in his head. It's the vestiges. but it's about to get it's about to hit about a 9 out of 10 on the weirdness scale, and an 11 out of 10, an 11 out of 10 in awesome. Just so you know and you're prepared. I don't know if it's going to be this very next episode. They're setting it up to be the next episode, but I am not sure if it actually is going to be. But whichever episode it is, if it's this next one or if it's the one after, just be prepared for that. Be prepared for something especially cool. Because it's about to just blow your mind. I remember when I was reading it, I was actually waiting at a doctor's office. And when I read this next part, I was so dumbstruck by it that I know that everybody in there thought I was a weirdo. And I guess I kind of am, because I was getting so excited over a kid's manga. But I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. One of my absolute favorite mangakas is Horikoshi, the author of My Hero. They're one of my absolute favorite mangakas of all time. Like, I have some favorites. Like, I really love Furodate, that wrote Haikyuu. I'm also a fan of... Oh, I can't think of their name. I'm not sure why. Let me just say I'm a fan of the person that wrote Horimiya. They're not one of my favorite mangakas, but I am a fan of theirs. I really think they did a very good job portraying Miyamura and everything he's been through and everything like that. But the person I'm really thinking of is the author of A Silent Voice. I haven't read the manga, but I have watched the movie, which I know there's a lot that's been left out in the movie. But I'm having trouble actually finding the manga. And whenever I find it, I would actually rather buy it than just read it online somewhere, because I want to make sure that what I'm reading is a legitimate copy that I purchased. I don't want to read something that's been pirated. There's no real reason to read anything that's been pirated. I understand that sometimes the availability is hard to find in English, but if you look hard enough and you give it some time, you will be able to find the actual licensed official English translation of their works, of authors' works. You will find it eventually. It just may take some patience, but you will find it. There's no need to read something that's been stolen. Just saying. So, I am a fan of the author of Horimiya. I'm trying to find the I did not mean to break my bed. But I do want to find A Silent Voice in English. None of the bookstores near me carries it right now. It's out of print in English, I think. Or not out of print. It just needs to go back for a reprinting. But it hasn't done so yet, so it's kind of out of stock. But out of all of the mangakas that I've come across, my absolute favorite has to be Horikoshi. That has to be my absolute favorite one. Simply because of My Hero Academia. Oh, I'm not sure if I told you guys, but I am trying to learn some Japanese. It's harder and easier than I thought it would be. It's both harder and easier. But I've been around enough manga, enough anime, subbed anime, not the dubbed version, that I understand a bit. Now, yes, I do agree that the dubbed anime is easier to follow. You can really appreciate the artwork more, the animation style, and everything more because you can actually watch what's going on rather than reading subtitles. But I am actually a fast reader, so it works really well for me. It works really well for me. So I'm just going to go with that. Okay, you look spooky standing there. You look kind of like Chica from a distance. Not Chica, Bonnie. Kind of look like Bonnie from a distance. That was freaky. For a second, I thought we had gone all the way from Minecraft to Five Nights. Anyway, so sorry, somebody was asking something that I need to answer them back real quick. Um, so anyway, as I was saying, Porter Koshi is definitely my favorite mangaka. Definitely my favorite mangaka, but also great. I'm getting lag. I hope stream isn't lagging too bad, guys. I really wish um there we go. But I really wish I knew if you guys had watched My Hero Academia or was at least caught up on the manga. I'm serious. The manga is so good. This My Hero Academia is a story that will blow your mind because it is so good. The storytelling is absolutely fantastic. Horikoshi is just easily managed to snag the title of my favorite mangaka. Um, I mean, full disclosure, I haven't been a very avid manga reader for very long, but I do know good writing when I see it because I am a writer. I have been writing for many years. I know I'm pretty young, but I have been writing for 2 decades at this point, or close to it. And, well, maybe not 2 decades. Maybe not quite that long. But I have been writing for a very long time, since a very young age. And I have been studying it both as a craft and as a hobby for that entire time. I know good writing when I find it. I don't have to know good manga, but I do know, like I said, I know good writing, and that's what matters. That's what counts here. A good storyteller, in my opinion, now this is just my opinion, guys, okay? I'm not saying this is something that's set in stone or anything by any means. But a good storyteller, in my opinion, has the hallmark of being able to not only captivate your audience, but make the audience believe that what you're telling them is the absolute truth. That make me, especially for something like My Hero Academia that's pretty much sci-fi and superhero, make me believe it. Stan Lee was pretty... He did a really good job. Let me put it that way. He did a really good job of making me believe that if I get bit by a spider, I'm going to become Spider-Man. I am going to become Captain America. I'm going to actually find Captain America frozen in the Arctic. Or no, not the Arctic. I'm sorry, I'm really revealing to you how little I know about the Avengers. I'm literally going to find Captain America frozen in a time capsule beneath New York City if I go there. I'm going to have the Avengers Tower staring me in my face the moment I set foot in New York. He made me believe this. The people that write the movie made me believe this, and it's all based on his writing. They've added their own stuff to it, but it's more or less his. He was the one that designed the characters, designed the backstories. Some of them are going to be more true than others to the actual background stories that Stan Lee made. But by and large, that is good storytelling. And again, I'm not a comic book nerd. I'm not as into that as some other people are. And a lot of my friends, by the way, are really deep into Marvel and DC. And I am into Marvel, but I'm really only into Spider-Man, full disclosure, okay? And I have not read the comics. I actually have not. And I'm not even that into visual novels or graphic novels. But I do like manga. And in manga, I have found some absolutely amazing storytellers. But like I was saying, the hallmark of a good storyteller, you have to make me believe that this is actually going to happen, that this could happen. Make me believe that, and I will give you high marks for that. And that's something that I feel like Horikoshi nailed with My Hero. But also, give me a really good, believable character that is actually relatable, that I can look at and I'm like, you know what? I feel you there. I know exactly how you feel. Give me that. Give me relatable characters. Give me something that really sells it, that gets me emotionally involved, emotionally invested. If you can get me emotionally invested in something, I am more likely to follow this to the very last moments. And Horikoshi delivered. There's a lot of really good writers when it comes to manga and anime that I think really nails it when it comes to, like I said, believability, all of that stuff. I think they've really nailed it. One of those is the show Orange. I don't know if any of you have actually seen Orange. I both do and don't recommend it. I recommend it because it's actually extremely well written. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. I recommend it because it's extremely well written, but at the same time, I don't because of what it's about. There's a lot of people that I know aren't okay with that have a hard. I know that there's a lot of people that have a hard time handling suicide and all that and all of that that comes with it and other mental disorders. So if that's something that bothers you, I do not recommend it. It automatically comes with those labels, with those warning labels. But if you are okay with it, I very highly recommend it. Because this story, it really makes me believe that the characters, that this is actually happening. That this story actually happened. These characters really did receive letters from themselves in the future outlining everything that's going to happen on which day and why things happen, what they need to do to change it. I really believe it. The person that wrote Orange sold me on it. Those characters got me so emotionally involved too. I actually almost cried several times during the point of the show, especially near the end of it. So that is one example of really, or that's another hallmark of a really good writer, really good storyteller. Not necessarily writer, because I'm not trying to limit this to the written word. You can tell a lot of stories just with pictures. And manga really gives the springboard for telling stories that way too. And Horikoshi also nails that. Horikoshi can tell you a story in a few pictures with no dialogue whatsoever. I absolutely think that Horikoshi is one of the absolute best storytellers. You have people like Furodate. They can tell you really good stories with lovable characters that will probably carry on for generations. Like, the love of these characters will probably be around for generations. No joke. Easily generations. But these characters also, in Horikoshi's story, they're going to have generations of legacy. I can already see, like, everybody that's a fan of Haikyuu, yeah, they're probably going to pass the story down to their kids. They probably are. I don't doubt it. I don't know why I did it like that. But yeah, I mean, they're probably going to pass the story down to their kids. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of a really good story, is that it goes on to the next generation too. There's some manga that will not. And I mean, doesn't mean it's a bad manga or anime just because the people that like it or love it don't pass it on down. Like if they have kids, or they don't pass it on. You know, it's not a bad mark. I mean, look at Sailor Moon. It's been popular for generations. It started in the 80s. It's still popular. It's mostly popular with people that saw it when it was new, but it's still popular. It's still a thing. It's still something that people like. But then you look at another, let's just say I'm not very well versed old in old anime. But let's just say that the same year Sailor Moon came out, there were 20 other animes or manga that came out that received no recognition. Several mangas that didn't make it to the big screen but were still loved by an entire generation. Or there might have been an anime that didn't really make it very popular, that didn't really become very popular in America, but it's going to be loved by generations as well over in Japan, but or another country somewhere that it was popular. Or it may not have gone over very well, but there's still going to be somebody that loved it. There's still going to be somebody that's going to be like, hey kids, this is what your grandpa or your grandma watched when we were your age. This is the bee's knees, or whatever you want to, however you want to say that. This is the epitome of good anime. This is storytelling at its finest. No, no, in that case, I mean, I'm not saying that those are bad. I'm not saying that those are bad things, because they were popular in their own right. But Horikoshi's, My Hero Academia, Furudate's, Haikyuu, I really think that those are ones that are going to be popular for generations. I think those are some that's going to be passed down. It's going to be like Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, no, not Hunter x Hunter. That's a bad example. It's Pokemon. It's going to be like one of those. That's been passed down, especially My Hero, because I'm not gonna lie, I get some serious Star Wars vibes from All for One, the battle between All for One and One for All. I really get those vibes from that. And if I'm not mistaken, Horikoshi did say that his biggest inspiration did come from Star Wars. But I mean, those are some stories that I really think is going to be passed down to other generations and be loved by whole new generations simply because they're that good. And there's not many manga or anime that I've come across that I can say that about. They're kind of few and far between. Not saying anything, it's not anything bad towards the mangaka or anything like that, but it's just how it is. And I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be. But anyway, I think this is about all the time that I have this evening. I have a couple other things I need to do, plus I'm going to watch the new episode of Eilish 7. But for me, it's kind of late for my schedule, honestly. So I will be knocking off kind of early